Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I did some more Bulgarian training today, and like I said, I'm going to do for a little while. I'll do 6 of these every week for you guys, and just kind of have one where I don't, like on my Q&A days, as long as the filming works okay. PR day on the squat. PR day on the squat. Now, today I did stuff a little bit differently. I have to work around my limitations. You know, a lot of people say, I don't think this style of training is good for a guy your age. It's totally fine. You have to be aware of your body to do it at my age. You have to pay attention to connective tissue. For example, I know my bicep connective tissue will limit my chin-ups, right? My biceps and its connective tissue will be the limit on my chin-ups. They're an important exercise to me, but I'm going to have to work some of those muscles in ways that don't inflame the connective tissue, and I have to be realistic and understand that I'm only going to be able to progress on that lift as my connective tissue allows. Now, I've been getting slowly stronger at the weighted chin-ups. And I got to point out, you get people who say silly stuff like, shouldn't you just do body weight ones to build the strength? No. That inflames my connective tissue even worse. I was doing like 3 sets of 8 a while back with just body weight before I came over and started doing them weighted, and I had to quit doing chin-ups for an entire month. That it just inflames your connective tissue. Same thing with curls. So I've got to do things like rows to bridge the gap. I've got to do other exercises to bridge the gap that doesn't inflame the connective tissue. And when it is feeling okay, I will come in and hit a heavy chin up to keep getting stronger at it. But rows still build your lats and biceps, but the pronated grip on them doesn't bother me. So that's what I've got to do. But we'll get into the volume training in a little bit. I'll discuss that near the end, but I did a little bit of volume work at the end. Now, when I say volume is the enemy, I'm talking about before you hit your heavy lifts, too much warming up. Get in and hit your peak lifts, and then assess carefully what volume you want to do, if any, based upon recovery and goals in this type of training. But today we came in, we smashed, because we did 440 7 days in a row, right? 7 days in a row. It's time to add weight. Now, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to sustain this 5 pounds every week on my minimums. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to sustain this, but I'm going to milk it for all it's worth. Eventually, I might have to go to 2.5 pound increases, but the goal is to get to 500 for my daily minimum this year. We don't want to reach a 500 squat. I want that to be clear. The goal for this year is not a 500 squat. The goal for this year is to be able to do 500 squats pretty much every day. So that's what we're shooting for. And that one was great. It ended up being a little slower than I wanted. It was 2.05 seconds, but I'll take it. I'll take it. It felt good. Part of that was I got tight under. That's the thing you've always got to remember. You will know if your squat is set up correctly when you unrack it and it feels light. That might be something I need to discuss in future videos, because a lot of times if I'm feeling weak on the ramp up on a squat, I know that it's not necessarily me being weak, because these are my daily minimums. I should be able to hit these. It shouldn't be a problem. I'm stronger than what I'm squatting. So it oftentimes is a setup issue, right? And if you're not getting tight enough, you're not getting your elbows in the right position, you're not getting your scapula pulled together, not getting a proper shelf built up top, the weight feels heavier, your bar path is going to be worse, it's going to psych you out, the lift's going to be harder. A lot of it has to do with just getting tight. It's about just getting tight. Bench press today wasn't bad. So I went ahead and did the 315 again, because I'm using that slightly wider grip. I might be able to get away with 315 every day going out an inch on my grip. Instead of doing it with my thumbs on the smooths, my thumbs are about an inch. I've got about an inch of knurling between each of my thumbs before it gets to the smooth. So I'm giving myself a little bit more of a medium grip. This is still, a lot of people call this a closed grip still. So we'll call it a closed grip. It's almost medium grip. I'll have a little better leverages here, but I'm still getting a lot of the benefits of the closed grip. Basically, that extra tricep work, that longer range of motion, it's harder. It's harder. But if it's harder, it builds more muscle. And it's harder because you are doing more work. And I don't want people to get that idea, well, I just want to make 300 pounds feel like 1,000 pounds. I hate that bodybuilder nonsense. No, it's just about making it harder because you're moving the weight a longer distance. In this case, yeah, the 315 went fine. It looks slightly grindy for me. My grindy is different from other people's grindy. People need to remember we have different genetics in our explosiveness. I'm a pretty fast lifter. So this was a little grindy for me, but it didn't feel grindy. So I'm happy with that because I was confident. I got under it, unracked it, brought it down, took a deep breath on the way down, raised my chest, drove through, pushed myself away from the bar, and locked it right out. It was fine. All right, guys, trap bar deadlifts. Like I said yesterday, I've had to assess. Trap bar deadlift is going to be a problem until I learn to do it. I'm going to need to rebuild my grip up because I haven't been deadlifting or high volume pulling. I think I've lost some grip strength. I have grip training stuff. I might show you guys some of that later. I need more grip work, so doing more volume with this will give me that, and more volume for lift mastery. The strength isn't a problem. I was pulling 545 for triples early on in this Bulgarian training with a conventional deadlift. 500-pound trap bars should not be a problem. In fact, it came up fast. I was losing my balance at the top. I was having grip problems, keeping it stable, largely due to maybe some detrained grip and me not getting the bar path down. So how do you master a lift? Do a lot of triples with a moderately heavy weight. That's what I did. I'm not even sure how much I'm doing on all these. I just kept ramping until it felt like I was at an effective weight. I could still lift really fast for maximum speed, but heavy enough to give a little bit of a challenge. So I think I went 20 heavier than that. I'm not sure. I think that's around 408. It's an odd number because it's a 58-pound bar. You guys can check Rogue Fitness's site if you want to double check the weight on it in case people question my lightweight volume work. Could be lying. He could be lying, guys. It could be 407. He's a liar. So, you can check their website yourself. So I built up to that, did a couple little ramp ups, and did, I think, 3 triples with this. All right, again, for me, I need a little bit more volume. I think some extra volume will help, but I'm limited right now on my quads as far as deep squatting. They're really limiting me for being able to do more squat volume. So I might be able to build a little bit more quad muscle with these without having to squat all the way down, which is really a problem for me. I can't do front squats and stuff after I've tried. It kills me. I feel like I'm taking all my quad energy up doing a heavy squat every day without a day off. I can't handle more volume. So it'll help me there. My biceps are my other limit, but everything else I can train. So I think exercises like these trap bar deadlifts for a little bit of volume to master the lift, to get the biomechanics down, to find the proper foot placement, the proper hand placement, to actually balance the bar correctly instead of what happened that first day we tried it. That's what I'm going to need to do. I'm going to need to learn the exercise and just slowly build it up. A little bit of volume will help with that. Do triples. Why triples? Because you can accelerate a weight maximally 3 times in a row. You start going beyond 3 reps, you lose bar speed. I don't care how light it is. I don't care if it's an empty bar. That's reality of the human body. So it allows for good compensatory acceleration with a reasonably heavy weight. So that's what I'm going to do. Things like dips are another good choice, and we're just going to loop in that new PR squat for the rest of this. Dips are a good choice for me. Dips are a good choice for my volume. Power snatches are a good choice for my volume. So I think for me, the dips are great because they work more muscle. I'll get my technique work from the bench itself. I'll get my technique work on the overhead from the overhead press itself. But if I want more delt, tricep, chest, dips are probably a better muscle builder. They're probably a better muscle builder overall. They use more muscle than the bench press does because you're moving your body through space. It uses more lat, more things like that. Because of the angle and everything else. So if we're trying to do a little bit more volume to gain a little more muscle to recomp, because I have cut food back, I am starting to lose a little bit of weight now. Between a slight change in diet, adding a little bit of GPP work. So anything that will put a little bit of muscle on me faster will help with recomposition. And so we might as well build as much muscle as possible. So I'll do my volume with things like trap bar deadlifts, because that's a lot of muscles used. Weighted dips. Maybe a little bit of my Pendlay rows just to make sure I get some bicep work. Maybe my power snatches. Yeah, things like that. So we build a little bit of muscle. And that's what we want. And I'm not saying the maxes don't build muscle. There are plenty of guys who've been growing off this. I've been growing off this. People have noticed I've gotten bigger while doing this. So you gain size from it, but back off volume as you are able to handle it. If you're able to recover from it, as long as it's still with fairly heavy weights, it'll still feed the program. It's still helpful. So I'm going to do it as my recovery allows. And we'll keep getting better. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.